Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time, presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. I am happy that you're back again. This podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur looking to get over that hump and make it happen. This podcast is for anybody who has a dream and wants to accomplish that dream. This week for our Monday conversation, I'm happy to have Mrs. Caprice O'Bryant-Gutierrez with me. She is the owner of Excuse Free Fitness Gym. She's a personal trainer. She's an awesome person, and she has an amazing story. Caprice, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, Caprice, you have done a lot lately. You've been a very busy, a very productive woman lately. I want to know, how did we get to this point of excuse-free fitness? Because you're 24 years old, correct?
Correct.
How did we get here? Tell us about your journey. How did you get introduced to entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. So my journey to becoming a business owner, to becoming an entrepreneur was different. It was birthed out of my overcoming a lot of obstacles, and I got tired of hearing no, and I wanted to have a yes, and in order for me to have a yes, I had to create it myself. I got told, no, you can't drive, no, you can't go to school, no, you can't be at home by yourself, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, and it was depressing, it was frustrating, and I didn't want that to be my life anymore, so I had to create a new normal, and I had to create my own yes.
Okay, and your yes was basically fitness? What drew you to fitness as opposed to anything else? Because you could have been a baker, you could have, you know what I'm saying? You could have did anything. What made you so passionate about fitness and getting people healthy?
This is true. I could have been anything else, but fitness changed my life, and it saved my life. So my why is, it comes from the no. So when I was 14, I was in a major car accident. I had to relearn to walk. I was diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, and I did speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. And it took me a miraculous 6 months to learn how to walk. But it was still during that time of physical therapy, I wanted to run, and they're like, you can't run. You should probably learn how to walk first. And I was like, no, actually, I can do this. And it got frustrating for me to constantly be told no, that I just kept going anyway. And, after 6 months of relearning how to walk, and then I was conference champion at all of my events, and it was incredible. And it was like, wow, I can really do this. And then tragedy struck again. At 17, I was in another car accident. We hit one car. We spun out, went head on to a pickup truck. And I started having seizures. I was later diagnosed with epilepsy. So everyone is born with a seizure threshold in their brain. But because of the trauma caused by the accident, the impact, it caused my seizure threshold to explode. So I was having seizures every day, grand mal seizures, 3 to 4 times a day. So it was intense. And it was like, wow, things were kind of getting better, not worse. And then I went away to school, and I was having seizures on campus, and they sent me on academic medical leave. So they basically were like, you scaring everybody. We call it ambulance every time you come to campus. We can't have this. We're going to send you home. So they did that, and then I'm like, okay, maybe the stress of a big university is too stressful for me. It's too much. I got to go to a small school. So I went to a community college, and it wasn't that much better. I had a seizure in class, and I woke up in the hospital. I didn't know my name. So it was like all the doctors, their answers were, okay, let's try yoga to calm your seizures down. This should help. Let's try this, try that. And it was just like, amnesia was the scariest thing I've ever been through, because you don't know who you are. You don't know who your parents are, your siblings, or nothing. So nothing makes sense. So you just want to try something. And in my mind, I was like, okay, if I don't know what to do, I should just do something. So my dad took me to the gym, and he's like, yeah, you ran track before you lost your memory. This is what you were interested in. Let's just give it a shot. You never know what's going to happen when, once you're releasing some endorphins and stuff. He had me doing treadmill sprints the first day. So it was intense. And I was like, I don't know if I could do this. But then I fell in love with it. And people were coming up to me can you train me? And can you help me? I was like, I don't know about that. And I ignored it for so long. And it was like, it was a call on my life, and I was just like, I don't know about that. So a trainer actually came up to me, and he handed me the book, National Academy of Sports Medicine, Personal Trainer. And I was like, the back of your shirt says trainer, not mine. I'm just trying to go on these leg extensions, but didn't want me to be great. So I finally picked up the book, and it was fascinating. It was the most amazing thing that I've ever read, because it was like, wow, I finally have a yes. No, you can't do this, no, but I can work out. But I can run now, I can do this, I can do that. And even though I was still having seizures at the time, it's because the nutrition wasn't there yet. So I bought a book. It's called Treating Epilepsy Naturally, and it changed the game. Like, it was so interesting the way that the culture that we live in is causing these diseases with inflammation and mucus, and all these things are not, they don't have to be so. Like, this does not have to be your life. It does not have to be the sentence that you live. And now I'm 2.5 years seizure free, but at that time I was maybe 3 months seizure free. And it was like, wow, this is groundbreaking. I can't keep this to myself. I got certified, and I knew as soon as I got certified that I wanted to call the shots. I wanted to be the boss. I wanted to sign outside to say excuse-free fitness. And I wasn't satisfied until that happened. You know, I worked at I worked at 2 facilities before I was able to save enough money, but it was just like, I knew that I needed to be a trainer once I saved myself. And it was like, you're really selfish if you don't tell other people and allow them to overcome what you have overcome. So it's like, looking back, I'm like, man, what else would I be doing?
Wow. So let's back up. So you had 3 car accidents. 2 car accidents. And then you started having the seizures.
After the second accident.
That's powerful, because you would think after just one accident, people would be scarred for life. And when I say scarred for life, I mean they would like basically mentally block themselves from going forward and trying to aspire higher. But you didn't do that. You kept pushing. You kept figuring out ways how you could get back to not only how you were before, but how you could become better. Like, do you believe that it was always fate for you to do this?
I do. I just think that everything happens for a reason, and it was so divine. You know, like I can't speak on, you know, where I was mentally before amnesia, because obviously I don't remember. But it was like waking up in that hospital and just like so many people like, do you remember me? Do you remember me? I'm like, no, you asked me 5 minutes ago. But it's just like, it was so traumatizing. It was like, wait a second. Okay, you're telling me, like they had to tell me who I was, tell me what I've been through. Like, okay, you were in this car accident, you survived, you had to relearn how to walk. And it was like, hey, you in another car accident, you survived, you did this. And it was like, hold on, I'm here for something. I'm here for, why would you keep saving me? It makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense for me to be given these second chances, like, and to not use it. Like, why would I just waste my life when I have 19 years of blank space? Why would I just coast through life and not do everything that I'm supposed to do and not help as many people as I can? It doesn't make sense.
So after you became your personal trainer, became certified, what steps did you start taking to basically create your own gym? Where did the name Excuse Free come from? I think I have an idea, but tell us, where did that name come from first?
You know, it's such a funny story, and I can go back and I'm just sitting in that sitting in that room, and I still feel the same way. So my now husband, we were sitting in our 1-bedroom apartment in Stager, and it was like, okay, I want to do this. And he was like, you can. And I was like, no, I want to really do, like, I want to be a household name. Like, I want to change the world. And I was just so determined. And it was just like, wait a second, but if I can do this, like, I was doing handstands, like 6 months after I lost my memory, like being in the hospital, like, and having all these challenges.
I still can't do that.
And it was like, if I can do this, you can do this. If I can overcome all of these things and not have any excuses and still get up out of bed and still fight through this, push through this depression and this anxiety to be alone and walk on pins and needles because you don't know when you're going to have a seizure. If I can do this, people can do this. Like, and I know they can, because I've been through it and I've overcome it, and I've seen and I've been through the trenches, and I've seen how difficult these things can be. So I just knew that it was possible. I knew the only way to really reach your goals and to get where you want to be is to be excuse-free.
So with your excuse-free mentality, you decided to open up your own gym. What steps did you start taking to make that a reality?
Of course. So the day after I got certified, I got a job at Export Fitness, and I trained there for 10 months. And it was incredible. I learned so much. And then I went to a smaller facility, and I was an independent contractor. So I basically rented their space out, and I incorporated excuse-free fitness. So there was a lawyer in the family, and I was like, hey, I need some help.
Yeah.
And he sat me down and went through everything. Actually, attorney to be fitness. So he's amazing. And he sat me down through everything, and he incorporated excuse-free fitness and taught me the difference between an S Corp and LLC and all these other things. And it was like, wow, okay, this is a lot to learn. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I worked at Steak and Shake and Chipotle to be able to afford it. So once I got certified, I was working at Steak and Shake and Chipotle, and then I worked at Export. And then I saved all that money, and I like started buying equipment, and I was like training, like out of the house after I left Export. And then it was like, okay, I'm gonna start building these things up, because even though I work here, I want the sign outside to say excuse free fitness. I'm not gonna stop until it does.
Yes.
So I saved. It was challenging because you smell like fries and guacamole and all day, but it was worth it, and it taught me discipline and to be resilient, because that's challenging when you don't. It's like, okay, there's a means to an end, like you just keep going, you keep fighting. But I saved a whole lot, and then I worked there, and then I was independent contractor. So once I was an independent contractor, I was excuse free fitness. So I ran my business out of another business, and it taught me how to do things. So I learned things from the other facility, like the big box gym, but then it was like, I don't want to do that, or I want to do it this way, or I'm going to do it the excuse-free way, and it taught me a whole lot. But the only thing that taught me the most was actually getting out and doing it, like jumping and falling on my face and then getting up, and then falling on my forehead again and then getting up. Yeah, I worked at 2 fitness centers before I opened here.
You was working at Steak and Shake and Chipotle, as well as being an independent contractor and working at Export and all these other places. You was working a day job, a 9 to 5, which is what a lot of people, a lot of people hate their day jobs, and a lot of people have dreams. A lot of people want to be the boss. They want their brand outside of the building, just as you want it. What do you say? What do you say to somebody when they're doing that and they're not seeing any results? So they're trying to save up money to open up their own business, whatever it is, but they just don't see the results. They're getting burned out. They're getting dejected. I'm sure you've had moments like that. How did you get through all that? So we're not even talking about the accidents anymore. We're just talking about the fact that you're working a job that you really don't like to achieve your ultimate goal. How did you get through those moments where you was like, you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of smelling like fries. I'm sick of smelling like onions. How did you get through that? And then what would you say to somebody that's in your age group, or even anybody, period, who's going through that right now?
Wow. I just, you know what? It's actually Jay-Z, and he said the genius thing that we did was never give up.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's literally all you have to do. That's literally all you have to do is one day at a time. Because if you focus on next year and what's going to happen in 6 months, or how that bill is going to get paid, you miss today. You miss all the lessons of today. Like, I learned so much patience by, hey, you got 24 hours. Why you worry about tomorrow? Tomorrow has its own troubles. So if you just focus on one day at a time and what you can do today. And the other big thing was I used to worry about things I can't control. I'm still working on that. But I used to worry about things I couldn't control.
Yeah.
And it was like, what you gonna do?
Nothing you can do.
If there's nothing you can do, let it go. Because it's taking up too much space in your brain, and then it decreases your capacity to be creative, to be able to push you towards where you're supposed to be. So it's just like, it's really, really, really important to only focus on things that are gonna propel you to your purpose. Otherwise, it's just dead space in your brain, and then you get overwhelmed. And once you get overwhelmed, you don't do anything.
It's very important to win the day, as you said. You have to win the day. We have to just focus on the task at hand. One thing that I've learned that benefited me is I write down a task that I have to accomplish every single day. Whether it's 20 tasks, 10 tasks, it doesn't matter. And I try to tackle those tasks for that specific day. If I don't finish them, I roll them over to the next day. But I used to fall into that trap of, worrying about 6 months ahead, a year ahead. I still do, actually, from time to time. But what you said, I believe, is very, very powerful, because you gotta make yourself insane if you do that. You just have to focus on what you gotta do. So if you gotta flip these burgers for Tuesday, and then you gotta do it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just so next year you can have your own business, then so be it. I think a lot of people are so afraid to take that leap. So when did you get to the point where you knew it was time to take that leap?
When I left Export.
When you left Export.
Because it was like, okay, I'm leaving here. I can't afford my own facility right now because, one, I'm a personal trainer, not a businesswoman. So I had to learn how to be a businesswoman first. So it's just so many levels, and it's just like, it was like, okay, there's levels to this. You can't skip a step. I had to remind myself that, okay, I want excuse-free fitness to be, it's not about me, right? And I had to remind myself that it wasn't about me. So then I had to take a step back and say, okay, if you skip a step, then you're just going for that microwave blessing instead of the crock pot. So
that crock pot got to sit.
It has to sit. It has to, like, it takes hours. It takes time. And I had to realize that it's a marathon, and anything worth having is not gonna be easy. And it's like, if it's easy, do you really want it? Like, because the quick schemes, they don't last. It's temporary. I want longevity. I want to look back in 20 years and be like, wow, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day to build this, for this to manifest, And it's very important to understand the season that you're in, because the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows of your business is very important for you to understand. Like, so you get your industry. You need to know your industry better than anybody. Yeah. So it's like, you get that, and then there's levels to this. Like, you don't skip 1 and go to 12.
Yeah. That's real deep. So okay, so now you got excuse-free fitness. Right. What do you guys do? So obviously fitness, you do fitness, but tell us about some services and things that your business has done, because it's grown big time since you started. You have your own gym. How big is this gym that we're sitting in?
5,500 square feet.
5,500 square feet. What all do you guys do here? What are some services that you do here? Break it down for us.
Absolutely. So Excuse-Free Fitness is a private facility for people that are super dedicated. So we do one-on-one personal training, small group training, large group classes, nutrition plans, meal prepping, and then we do private fitness parties and events. Okay. So the biggest thing would be the nutrition, because we have to teach you. Like, we do challenges as well, but we have to teach you how to eat. So then and once you know how to eat, then you can eat the right way to do the workout, and that's where you reach your goal.
Do you believe health is wealth?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Tell us why.
I believe health is wealth because it's like, you can have all this money. You can die at 52 because you had a massive heart attack. You can be a billionaire what am I? I can't even walk down the stairs. I can't even go for a run. I can't even walk on the beach and enjoy myself because I have high cholesterol, or, I have diabetes and it took my foot. So it's just like, taking care of your body is so much more valuable than any dollar amount that you can ever name.
I'm really trying to eat better. I'm really trying to, cut back on the fast food and all these things. When you have people who come here every day, what do you think is the biggest challenge as far as for some of to get some of your clients on the right track when it comes to, diets, meal prepping and all that? What is the biggest challenge or the biggest excuse that you hear?
Well, the biggest excuse is I don't have time.
I don't have time. That's one of my excuses.
That's the number one excuse. And it's just like, no, you need to make time. Every single person on the planet gets 24 hours in a day. That's it. You don't get to pray and ask for 26 because you need more time to work out. It doesn't work like that. But the biggest challenge is your mind. Because we grow up addicted to the taste of salt, the taste of sugar, And, our ancestors, if you will, they weren't taught about zucchini and Brussels sprouts. Like, you can eat those potatoes. You can eat like half a serving of vegetables and entirely too much protein. Yeah. So it's just like, once you change your mind, you can really change your body. Like, period. That's it. But you have to be ready. You can't just call me and say, hey, I'm going to Punta Cana in 3 months. I need to lose 50 pounds. I ain't your drink.
And if you're just trying to get in shape for Punta Cana, you're really not trying to get in shape. Because you're just trying to go on vacation.
You just want to look good on the beach. But what happens when you come back and there's no longevity in that? Like, there's no lifestyle change. This isn't just a fad. It's not just cute. It's not just on Instagram. Like, who cares about your workout? Just do it. Like, this is important. Guns is not the only thing killing us. This food isn't real. It's not real. Like, you need to make your own food. You need to stay away from the center aisles in the grocery store. Like, you need to care about your body and stop acting like you live twice and you just get to shed some layers once you're 50 and get a new body. You don't get a new body. It's the only place you get to live your entire life. And if you don't take care of it, then you're not being kind to yourself.
So what is the first step somebody needs to take to really start taking better care of their body? Because first, let me ask you this. Is it ever too late to start taking care of your body?
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay, so with that being said, what is the first step someone needs to take? If they're listening right now, what is the first step they need to take today to start taking care of their body?
Be honest with yourself. Because people they like, oh, I eat pretty healthy. No, you just think you do, you know? So it's just like lean cuisine isn't healthy. It has like 700 milligrams of sodium. You only need 1,200 per day. Like, let's break this down. Like, be honest with yourself. Take out a piece of paper, right? It's Friday. Take out a piece of paper and write down everything you ate this week. Everything. I'm talking about that Twix. You like everything. The popcorn when it was like 1 a.m., you know, the 3 cups of orange juice or that coffee with the extra cream and extra sugar on your way to work because you were running late. Like, you need to write everything down and look at it and be like, wow, that's why I gained 10 pounds. Oh, wow, that's why I can't fit those jeans in. Oh, wow, that's why I'm tired every time I try to chase after my son. Like, be honest with yourself. And then you can see, like, whoa, okay, I've eaten fast. Like, because a lot of the thing is, oh, eating healthy is too expensive. It's not. You need to make the proper choices because you can go to Portillo's and spend $12 4 days a week. And you could have bought some groceries for however much that was and prepped your meals, prepped 8 meals. It's really up to you. It's up to you. But being honest with yourself is the first step because once you see what you've written down and how active you were not, you'll see why you aren't where you want to be.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you face as a young Black woman entrepreneur in 2017?
People don't take some people don't take me seriously because, well, one, I'm 24 and I look 12. I look like a kid, and like they'll come into the gym and ask for the owner. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Right here.
It's me, you know. And they're just like flabbergasted that I'm doing what I'm doing because they're like, when I was 24, no, I wasn't doing nothing like this. So it's just like I think that more so, well, like less of like the woman being a Black woman, but more because the black woman entrepreneurs on the rise. Like, it's popping. Like, it's amazing how many Black women are following their dreams and are taking that step. Like, no, I don't want to work for anybody. I want to work for myself. I want to create the life that I want to live. There's so many amazing Black women that are doing that, and it's just amazing what's going on. But it's like, for me, it's because of my age, and it's just like I am the youngest person everywhere I go. No matter what panel I speak on, no matter what stage I'm on, like no matter where you go, like I go, like I'm the youngest person. And it's just because I started young. Like, I lost my memory when I was 19 and I got certified when I was 21. And I opened my own 20. And I opened my own fitness center when I was 22. So
and now you're 24.
Now I'm 24 and it's like, who gonna stop me?
No one can stop you. I mean, you're on the fast track. When I was 24, I was an entrepreneur as well, but my mindset wasn't where it is now, and I think you're an outlier in a sense that you're ahead of the game when it comes to a lot of people, not only just in your generation, but entrepreneurs, period. A lot of entrepreneurs would have gave up. It's very hard. A lot of businesses fail in the first 3 years. You've passed that, and a lot of entrepreneurs, regardless of age, they give up, That's why I asked you, what would you say to somebody who's going through their day job and all that? Because mentally, you get burned out, man.
It's a lot.
You get burned out. It's so easy to call yourself an entrepreneur these days, because the barriers to entry is so low. Everybody wants to do it, but they don't really understand the investment you have to put in, the emotional investment, the mental investment. They don't understand it. I mean, I'm sure you see it all the time on Instagram. You see all these personal trainers popping up for about three weeks, and then they disappear after that. So you're in an industry that's basically heavily oversaturated because I can just go outside right now, hey, come to Twizz's boot camp, and, start telling people to do push-ups.
Right.
So how do you compete with those people? Like, how do you set yourself apart from these entrepreneurs, these not real fitness people who are not certified? How do you set yourself apart from them and constantly remind the world that I am the real deal. I am Caprice. I am 24. I'm here. No one's going to stop me. How do you continue to do that?
I think the biggest thing is that I don't compete.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, I don't remember who said it, but collaboration is the new Black, right? And it's just like, there's so many people that need my service. Like, there's so many, like, there is healing in what I have to say. There is just that my gift is important to the world, right? And I remember that, first of all, I am on Dixie Highway. There is 6, not 4, not 5, 6 fitness centers on Dixie Highway alone in Homewood. And I'm just like, wow, this is challenging. What am I going to do? But Speedway is not worried about BP. They're not checking for them because they look at what they have to do and they're just like, I'm Speedway. But they're like, well, I'm BP. So for me, I don't compete with anyone. I want to collaborate with these people because it's like my mission is to change the world. Like I want to get people healthy. I want them to live long lives. Like I don't want to just I don't want to like trump all these other gyms and like put people out of business. I want to say, hey, you might know something I don't know. Let's come together. How can we help people? Right? Because like there's a lot of gyms, but there is only one Caprice. There's so many fitness centers. There's over like 200,000 personal trainers in the United States, but there is one Caprice. And I own that. And I just work with that and I just build that confidence every single day because it does get hard. It gets like, wow, how am I going to matter? You know, like how in this big old world, like how is Caprice going to make a difference? But it's just like you start with your world. In my world, it's excuse-free fitness. And until I open up other locations, this is my world and this is what I need to change. But I just think it's very important for people to get the competition out of their mindset because you don't need to compete with these people. There is so much room. There's so many opportunities for people to win. Like there's so many, I mean, there's so much money in this world. Like there's like people will pay for what they want. So if you are providing a service and you are being your authentic self, and I'm always my authentic self, I share with my experiences, what I've been through and how challenging it is. Entrepreneurship is not sunshine and roses. It is never that actually. And I share and I'm honest with myself, whether it is honest with my audience, whether it's social media or interviews or whatever the case may be, whatever I'm doing, however I'm using my voice, you just have to be authentic and be yourself and own that. Like you are here for a purpose. Like you have a place in the world and you belong where you are. And as long as you know, like every day, as long as you know, like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. It works. And then you just keep going in the face of adversity. Like you get dirty and you get sad and you get happy and you get excited and you get dirty again and you just keep going no matter what. It's like marriage. You just don't give up. Don't quit. Why would you quit? Why would you say I do and then like deuces, you know? Like why would you start the business and then be like, this was too hard? No.
Transparency is key, I believe, and you are your competitive advantage. I definitely agree with you 100%. Nobody can do it the way you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe. That's what I tell people all the time. So, what's your 5-year plan? What do you see yourself at Excuse-Free Fitness in 5 years and 10 years from now?
Well, 5 years, I would like to have a location in downtown Chicago, and 2. So in 5 years, I would like to have 2 more locations. In 10 years, I want. Who knows? Who knows? But I definitely want to. It's not just a mantra. Like Excuse-Free Fitness isn't just something you say or you put on a sticky note. Like this is what I live. And I want to teach other people that this is what you live. Like this is how you live and this is how you should live. Because excuses don't get you anywhere. They don't burn calories. They don't put money in your account. Like it doesn't do anything. So if I can get more people to understand the excuse-free life, then it'll spread like wildfire. And it'll be important because it'll be something that's necessary. And it is something that can't die. It's something that can grow and be worldwide, not just United States, like worldwide. And it will be people waking up and knowing what excuse-free fitness is.
So with all that being said, how do we get in contact with Excuse-Free Fitness? How do we get in contact with Caprice O'Bryant-Gutierrez? How can we get here? How can we follow all of you on social media? Tell us about your contact information.
Absolutely. So the website is excusefreefitness.com, and then you can follow us on social media at Excuse-Free Fitness.
Okay. And is there anything else you would like to add or say to all the listeners out there, all the aspiring entrepreneurs who just need to get over that hump? What's the last thing you want to say to them?
Don't forget your why. You can't forget your why. So whenever you get in a bind or you get frustrated or, there's challenges in front of you and you feel like when it's raining, it's pouring and you feel like you're never going to get a break, what's your why? Why did you start this in the first place? Like, what was your vision? What did you want? Why? It has to, like, your why is going to drive you because once you start, I promised myself a long time ago, once I start doing it for the money, I need to stop. It's not about the money. It's not about me either. It's about helping people and giving people a new life and a new way to live, and that's excuse-free. So it's just like, if you remember your why, put it on everything, like the mirror in your bathroom, your refrigerator, in your car. As long as you know your why and stick to your why, you will be successful, and you will create your own lane of success, and nothing that anyone can say or do is going to stop you.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Remember your why from Mrs. Caprice O'Bryant-Gutierrez. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
So that wraps up our Monday conversation. Don't forget to visit www.mogulmotivation.com for free and practical blog posts to start your business efficiently and the right way. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to work, let's imagine reality, and let's not quit. Have a great day.